Hi everyone, Keith Arkenberg Farms. So if you watched my videos before, you know we use a lot of landscape fabric and we also use plastic mulch on our farm. But I get this question a lot. It is, what do you do in between your pathways like this to keep the weeds and grass down? As you can see, I've done nothing here and it don't look good. So let me show you. Now, the first step in actually using plastic mulch on your farm is you gotta have a way to lay it down. Now, we actually use this contraption right here. This is actually a BCS plastic mulch layer. Just cut the knuckle off here, weld it on some other pieces, so I can hook it to my Wonder Bar toolbar and pull it behind my tractor. Plastic loads there, drip tape loads there. We go through, we prep all of our beds, put our fertilizer down, and then we put our plastic mulch down. Now, we make sure and do this early in the season, usually the first dry opportunity we get, so we're not dealing with weeds or rain or anything else, and they're ready to go when we need them. We'll let them sit there for a couple weeks, even a couple months with the fertilizer down there, because it's not going anywhere because we use organic fertilizer on the farm, so we know it'll just sit there and wait for us. Now, the next step is actually going over the field and showing you how we keep the grass out from in between the pathways. But first, head over to arkenbergfarms.com, scroll down near the bottom, digital tools and training, Martin Garden Farm School down there. A bunch of cool stuff in the store. We've got our spreadsheets, our site openers, and all kinds of other cool stuff to help you run your farm. Now, as you can see behind me, this is the solution. This is the ultimate solution and the best one I know of. Actually learned this by watching Facebook. Howard Prusak, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Not sure, but he's the one I saw this from. What they do is they use a lot of plastic mulch on their farm, then they go through and actually put a weed barrier in between. So what we're using here is actually just like a 2.3 or 2.7 mil, 3-foot wide fabric, because it fits in between our walk paths. And you get this stuff in like a 1,000-foot roll. It's fairly cheap, not super expensive. And then we just use row bags, which are bags full of gravel. I take 4 steps in between, drop one to one side, take 4 more steps, drop one to the other side. Continue down the bed. At the ends behind me, put 2 at each end. Now, the 3-foot wide fabric is actually a little bit wider than our walk paths, but we just kind of bunch it up to the sides. The main thing we're trying to do is keep that little gap right there covered and the rest of the bed. Now, it is very important to get this down early, because if you don't, the weeds will quickly take over and they become problems real quick. And then you're out here trying to do it by hand, or there's really no good way. They sell nifty little finger weeding tools and cultivators, but what always happens to me is I tear the edge of my fabric or my plastic and weeds come up through them. So ideally you want to have it to where you don't have to do anything out here. Like I said, this is the best way I found on our farm. I know there's many other ways to do it, but at the scale we're doing, we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 beds of plastic mulch, about 100 foot long. That's all we use all season. So it's really not, I don't know, economical to go and buy a larger piece of equipment that's specialized for this. Instead, we just roll these up at the end of the season, reuse them. All the row bags come up to the front of the row. We put them in storage. When we need them again, we bring them back out. Another thing to really pay attention to is when using this plastic mulch, make sure to get it up at the end of the year. Easiest way is just to grab it by the middle and pull it up out of the ground. If you don't, the weeds take over, it gets embedded, and it is a mess that you do not want to mess with. Trust me, I know from experience. You'll be out here with a 5-gallon bucket picking up little tiny pieces for the next couple months, and then it still likes to work its way back up if you miss some. That's why it's really important to get this stuff back up at the end of the season, because you don't want this all over your farm. I've been to farms before where they use a lot of it and they just till it in. That stuff is everywhere, scattered across the whole entire field, and that ain't just nothing I want to see on my farm. I'd rather see nice, clean looking field blocks like this or fully planted areas like this. The other thing we do is use insect net over it. So we just put in our hoops from side to side and then just stretch our insect net down like I've showed you in the past. So pretty simple, pretty easy. I hope this answers a question for a lot of people and really helps them to progress on to other techniques in farming. You can put this stuff down by hand. I just never saw the need. Like I said, I found that BCS plastic mulch layer, I actually got it used. It was only roughly, I think I paid $250 and drove 6 hours to go pick it up. But even brand new, they're not that all expensive. And it's great for something like this. Not, again, if I was doing something like that. So, as always, hope y'all liked what you saw today. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all. Have a good day.